Okay, everyone. Tony didn't tag me his last video, but I thought I'd get in on the action anyway. Just because it's a great idea and I wanted to have a bit of a try of editing and all that jazz. So anyway, I thought I'd do a top 10 Cheapy list, but for the spring. They'll all be under €30, pounds, don't know about dollars, but round about that marks. Anyway, let's get going. So first up, number 10 on the list, a recommendation from the great predicted, Tony. As we all know, I'm definitely not a Sauvage fan, but this one is a more wearable Sauvage, shall we say. And look at that. Has a nice magnetic cap. It's got that DNA running through it, but the pepper, horribleness, sharp metallic, the metallicness is not there. All in all, I think this is quite wonderful for the spring. Yeah, so if you want a shower jelly, kind of metallic-y slightly take on Sauvage. Not obviously, it doesn't last quite as long, but I get this lasting all day. And this cost me round about £18, I think. So yeah, that's Cyrus Writer, folks. Number 9 on the list is this little beauty. I think this cost me about £8 or something for a deal on eBay. Again, this is one I heard of from another great YouTuber, from 2 cents worth Nigel. An Eau de Gaga. Basically, it opens with this beautiful lime. It's like a really strong, fresh, gorgeous lime though. And it kind of dries down into a bit of a lime tea fragrance. You get a touch of the florals, maybe a touch of jasmine. I'd say this is very unisex. I don't wear it as often as I should, but maybe now spring's round the corner, I'll get a good wearing out of this one. So that's Eau de Gaga by Lady Gaga, and a very good Cheapy. Number 8 is Dupe Wow. No list of mine will be complete without a dupe, and this is quite a good one for the spring actually. I think I've recently just talked about this because I have another fragrance, a niche one that smells like it. This was after it, but it's kind of got that cherry, cypress, fresh, woodsy, with a little touch of vetiver in it. It's like I don't know, like a boozy cherry brandy with all these kind of summer things. It is a little heavy, but in Britain we get like 3 days sunshine a year, so it works very well actually. So that is Duke Wow, and that's the EDT version. A very good fragrance. The next one on the list, number 7 I believe, is this beauty. This again was around the £10 mark, €10, blah blah blah. And it's Durham from Ardell Saffron, and I believe this is the silver version. I believe there's lots of different versions. This is quite an effervescent, quite a watery, kind of lovely rose and citruses. At first maybe it leans a bit feminine, but as you get used to it, not really. It's just a very nice, pretty watery rose, like a spring rose, you know, like it's been raining and there's a little bit of sunshine on the flower bed. You're getting that wafts of them beautiful flowers. Yeah, I do like this one. I think it's one of the best bargains I've ever bought. So that's Ardell Saffron, and that's Durham from them. Next up on the list is one of my favourite houses, and that's Burberry, and this is Mr. Burberry Indigo. Now obviously it's along the same vein as the two other Mr. Burberrys. I don't actually think I've smelt the EDP, but I have smelt the EDT, all the other way around. But anyway, this is the same fragrance, if you like, just with a little bit of a different twist on it. This for me is the favourite I've smelt. This little 30ml cost me about £12, I think. Basically the difference is this perhaps has a bit more of an aquatic touch, and the mint is a bit more touched up in it. It's a bit It's a bit stronger. It smells a bit like, I don't know, a bit like a waterfall, like, you know, coming down a kind of grassy, mossy mountainside. Now it's got that bit of greenness from the mint and the kind of herbaceous side of it, but just with a lovely aquatic vein. I do actually really like this one, and the performance isn't too bad for it. So that's Mr. Burberry Indigo. Next, we have one I have briefly talked about, and I've tried not to put the same ones in, and that's why there's some quite different ones. But this one is a spring summer staple. I mean, it's basically just melon, a lovely fresh melon. Unlike the Zara one, this one's more, I would say, a yellow lemon, a proper melon, a yellow one, a honeydew one, is it? And it's got a certain like thickness to it, like a juniper tea feel. It's not got juniper or tea in, I don't think, but you get what I mean. It's got that kind of thickness. There might be a tiny hint of mint as well in the opening to give it a bit of freshness. And as it dries down, you get like a nice woody feel, along with that melon just running the whole time through it. And this one, again, from CK, is a pretty solid release. Again, it's not a beast, doesn't last you for 3 weeks, but you get a good, you know, maybe 6 hours off it. You can go quite heavy with it, just because it's not that overbearing. And yes, I think this is quite a solid spring release. That's Calvin Klein. Number 4 on the list is another recommendation from the great Frags to Riches, Steve, and this is Uomo. Emezibeg de Gildo Zinnia, or however you say that in Italian, I think, but it's Uomo. And basically, this is just such a beautiful, fresh, slightly sticky violet leaf with a touch of violet and a touch of just a little bit of greenness in it. It's just spring in a bottle. Think of freshly mown lawns, little green flowers coming up, daffodils maybe. It doesn't have daffodils, but and then that little bit of woodiness, a slight effervescent. It's not aquatic, but it's got that again, that kind of tea freshness about it. It is just a delight to wear. Puts a smile on your face. It's very fresh, very vibrant, slightly green, but not over the top, as I'm not a big green fan. And that's Sonia Uomo. Next on the list isn't a cheat. It's not an inspired by version or a clone or anything like that. Do need to purchase a full bottle of this, but this is from Rosa Salas. It's an original creation. It's called Jardin d'Amour, Garden of Love, which has a slightly different connotation in kind of colloquial English, but we won't go into that. But it does make me laugh quite a bit. But what is this? This is basically a very slightly boozy fruit basket. It is the most vibrant fruits. Limes and lemons and oranges, and it tastes like, I don't know if you get these abroad, but we have Roundtree's fruit gums. They're the chewy ones that get stuck in your teeth. They're so juicy and fruity, and this is what this reminds me of. And that little bit of a boozy element gives it a bit more of a sophisticated kind of touch. It is very sweet as well, but it is just beautiful, and it really shines in the heat. And this is Jardin d'Amour by Rosa Salas. And next up we've got number 2, which, you know, is Bulgari. I'm quite a fan of Bulgari. Again, I blame this on Frags to Riches Steve, as he absolutely loves Bulgari. As a person who's not a big lover of fresh scents, it's a good starter scent, and it's a nice, easy, pleasant wear. I picked this up for a deal for £12.99 I think, from some samples company. I can't remember what it was now, but I think roughly you can probably pick this up for about £30 now. It's not overly expensive, but this is quite a unique freshie. It uses a cactus fruit. Now, who the heck knows what a cactus fruit smells like, honestly? But it puts this, whatever it smells like, you can tell it's there because the citrus is running through it. Smell quite different to what you'd expect. So it adds a nice touch to it. And again, this is your Bulgari man. It's got a nice woody backbone and that. But that kind of citrusy, orangey cactus fruit does run through it, and it keeps it interesting. It's not your normal freshie. It's quite so it's an easy wear, but it's one of them that might draw people in quite a bit. I think this because of the unusualness, where it's not too unusual. It's weird, but it's an interesting fragrance anyway. And that's Bulgari Man Extreme, and this is my number 2. And number 1 on my list, this is turning into a Frags to Riches video, but again, this is another recommendation from Steve, because again, he's a good go-to guy for me. We don't always have the same taste, but with freshies, we're getting there on the same taste. And this is the wonderful Clinique Happy. Now, again, this is not a beast, doesn't last all day, but on a really hot day, you want to spray this on, you will smile. It's just basically this lovely, fresh, light orange. To me, it basically feels more like one of them refresher sprays that you spray in your eyes and all over your face that you get from Body Shop or whatever. You know what I mean. I don't know if you're supposed to spray them in your eyes, but you get some that you spray. But anyway, it's basically like a really fresh, watery orange. It's just, what else is there to say? Obviously there's a touch of the florals in there, and there's a bit of this and that, and it has some more to it, but all you really remember is this smiley fresh orange. And it's not your Sunny Delight full-blooded diabetes orange. It's a really fresh orange, like someone squirted an orange in your face, if you like. It's really refreshing and nice, and it does have that feeling of fresh citrus all over you. So my number 1 for spring and summer-ish, under the value of £30, is Clinique